is called we doing so.
Good evening, everybody. Didn't that get you pumped up? Didn't you get? Oh man, something about that opening scene, or well, the closing scene for Braveheart, right? But opening scene for me, and oh man, I think my mic's a little loud. Okay. I'm back, man. I'm back. I don't know how often I'll be able to do this with you guys. Like I said, I got a lot of work ahead of me here soon, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of like away work. Like I'll be joining you guys via a laptop. So, Wi-Fi will be a little bit spotty and stuff like that. But I'm gonna try to do this show as much as possible while I'm away, because doing morning word will be something that I unfortunately cannot do until I'm fully back in like April. There might be some days in there before then, but I wouldn't hold my breath. You're gonna have Sterling as much as he can. He's been he's been hurting quite a bit lately. He kind of hurt his back at work, and so pray for him, man. But we got a good show for you tonight, and so it's good to see some familiar names drop in. AC, I see you're there, buddy. GT, it's good to see that you're here. So good to see you guys. Long time no see. I know that we've been absent from the. I was down for a few days myself. I had like this thing going. I have what they call irritable bowel syndrome, and so what I was experiencing was a very bad irritable bowel syndrome attack. It was stress induced. I brought it on myself, because I was stressed about being away from you guys. Like I didn't want to like leave you guys hanging high and dry, and then unfortunately, due to my stress, I left you guys leaving hanging high and dry, not knowing anything. So I'm letting you know now, like, spread the word. Hey, Josh is feeling better. Sterling is on the mend, and you're going to have a morning word with Sterling. And then as much as I can, I'm going to do freedom with you guys in the evenings when I'm not, overtly tired from my physical labor job. But I'm going to try to do this as often as possible. It won't be nearly this late. I'm going to try to be earlier in the night if I can. Cause I know that my mornings are going to be like, probably like, crack of dawn, like 4 a.m., quack of dawn. Anyway, we've got some articles for you guys tonight. We're gonna go through maybe a couple videos we're gonna share. There's been a lot happening since the last time I did freedom. I mean, goodness, it's been literal months since I did freedom. So I've been focusing so much on morning word. I didn't touch on this show. We've got Faith, Family, and Politics. We'll be back looking like when I get back in April. We'll probably be doing that show again. So I can get a little more, for lack of a better term, religious with that show coming back. Welcome coming over to Rumble there, GT. Hopefully we'll get Faith, Family, and Politics back, and then Danny Tippett's new show. Not new show, but Danny Tippett's show, It Makes Sense podcast. You guys have got the audio drip from that, where he's done like 4 minutes to 8 minute little mini episodes, shorts, audio only. So hopefully soon enough, I'm going to try to remotely teach him a few things, and then get him up and running so that he can go live with you guys, so he can do It Makes Sense podcast without too much of my help. And hopefully, get going as early as next month. That's the hope. But this ship is rocking right now, and it's a little tough, but we're gonna figure it out, man. We're gonna figure it out. So just stick with us. Keep those notification bells on, because there won't be. I don't, for the foreseeable future, a schedule is going to be hard to keep. If that's fair, right? Because life. So, but we'll try our best to line up on a schedule if we can. And I want to try to make this show, if you're here right now, spread the word. I want to try to make this show as many days of the week as possible. So like Monday through Friday, as many days of the week as possible. So I know that Thursday is our normal night that we were doing. We were just doing one night a week, but I'm going to try to make this a constant. So, bear with me. Like I said, keep the notification bell on. Without further ado, let's talk about what's going to be in the show tonight. We're going to be discussing quite a few different things. And if you haven't ever been on Freedom before with me, Joshua Cummins, well, I know it's a little different than what you're used to, because you're used to, seeing me more morning word, most likely. And whenever we do a morning word, that's Bible study. But here on Freedom, we're talking about the political scene and what's going on in the news. So we're gonna kind of give you the highlights first, and then we're gonna go through them one by one. So the USC's negative net migration for the first time in 50 years during 2025. That's one of the topics we're going to be. Trump freezes all immigration from Somalia amid massive fraud scandal. Trump debuts healthcare affordability plan, urges Congress to act. Because if we get that codified, guys, that'd be great. Because that'd be somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000 in your pocket to spend on your healthcare every single year. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Um, the base Democrat we didn't know we needed. Fetterman tells ICE to clean house. I think that there's a video clip. I think it's just from ICE though. I don't think there's a video clip of him. Well, there is a video clip of him talking. It's about 2.5 minutes, I think. It's further down this article here. Yeah, about a minute and a half. So we'll get to both of those: a video from ICE and a video from Fetterman being on the news. And then we got Trump says Zelensky is holding up Russia-Ukraine peace deal. Surprise, 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 right? And then and finally, the final article tonight, as we always do, it's going to be non sequitur. Try to leave off with a laugh, and it's kind of, I mean, it's both sad and interesting. As an investigation has been launched after a youth hockey teams brawl out in Pennsylvania, and there's a little video clip of it. So we'll take a look at that and discuss all these things. What are you guys most excited about out of those things? What's like the most exciting? Like, I know that most of it's Trump, 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 but that's kind of like he's just in the news cycle, right? Um, and will there be time? But you'll see. So GT's asking, what videos we watching? Will there be time to pray and potentially listen to a patriotic concert you did? Unfortunately, no. This show is a lot shorter than morning word. That's good evening to you, GTG. Chucky, he's here. God bless you too, sir. So freedom, like I said, totally different show. Freedom is if you haven't been here before, go through the news and just kind of talk about it. Think about it like, I guess you could think about it like a Bongino report of sorts, or something of that sort. Just I won't say that I'm like Bongino in that way. Just same kind of format. Um, and I'm not sure what time the times are going to be. Let me put it this way, Charles. It's going to be hard to keep a schedule right now because I leave out of town Saturday to go work for I think the next 3 weeks following it, and then I don't know if I even get time to come back home, and then I have another 2 weeks in another state. So it's yeah, the Josh report. So yeah, I'll be gone most of that time. So while I'm gone, Sterling will be taking over morning word as much as he can. He's nursing a back injury right now, so um, give him some grace there. And then I'm going to try to do this show as often as possible. The time that I'm doing this now is I just kind of decided to hop on and be with you guys. But it'll probably be earlier. I'm going to try to make it earlier than this, just because I know that I'll be exhausted from working each day. So I'm going to try to do this as many days during the week that I can. When I'm not super exhausted, or if my boss, decides, hey, we're gonna treat ourselves and go to dinner or something, because it's a physical labor job. We're out of town, and there's not much to do other than once you get back home is be exhausted, either lay down and stare at the ceiling, or stream, or go get something to eat. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to stay as steady as possible. But things are happening. The wheels are turning. Like I discussed earlier, and I'm sure that Sterling will kind of discuss with you guys too, because he's in the know for some of this. Is that we got Danny Tippett coming back soon enough for It Makes Sense, and I try to figure out how to work that from the back end. And it's good to see all you guys. I missed you so much, and I was like I said, and as I was saying earlier, I was down physically. I had an IBS attack earlier this week. I was down for 2 whole days on that, and then from trying to rest, I somehow injured my wing muscle. I stretched it, and it just like it's so sore. I can't turn to the right. But to you, for you, it's the left, but for me, it's the right. And if I try to turn my head further than my shoulder, it's so painful. So yeah, that would be yeah, it'd be great to for everybody, every one of each and every one of us to get sponsorships. Yeah, sponsors. If you guys know any sponsors that want to sponsor Revolver Broadcasting, send them our way. Certainly to have them take a look and see what we got going on. But let's get into the first article, shall we? We're 13 minutes in. We're doing, anyway. So we have the U.S. sees negative net migration for the first time in 50 years during 2025. Now, all the articles that I'm reading from, all the links, all the links are in the description below. So if you guys want to know where I got the articles, where I'm getting my information from, I'm literally pulling from the articles that are in the description below. Um, let me just go ahead and share that with you, so you guys are reading along with me. Actually, if you can. I don't know that if you're watching on your phone, you may not be able to read along with me, but it says here that the United States experienced negative net migration in 2025 for the first time in more than 5 decades, that's 50 years, as the Trump administration continues a sweeping crackdown on immigration. In a report released Tuesday by the Bookings Institution, the shift was driven by a combination of stepped up immigration enforcement, removals of illegal immigrants, voluntary departures, but most significantly, a sharp decline in new entries into the country over the past year. Um, we estimate net flows of negative 295,000 to negative 10,000 for the year, the study said, though a high degree of policy uncertainty remains. Continued negative net migration for 2026 is also likely. The Trump administration has moved aggressively to reduce both legal and illegal immigration since returning to office. It has suspended or scaled back a range of humanitarian programs, including refugee admissions, with limited exceptions. Brookings estimated that between 310,000 and 315,000 removals occurred in the United States in 2025. That figure is sustainably lower than the number of the Trump administration has publicly claimed, and only slightly higher than roughly 285,000 removals recorded in 2024. The report noted that the nature of removals has shifted compared with prior years. In fiscal year 2024, only 18% of immigration customs enforcement removals were initiated by ICE rather than U.S. Customs and Border Protection, meaning most deportations involved recent border crossers. Border crossers. Comparable statistics have not yet been released for 2025. So we'll get some more numbers as time goes on, but it's good to see those numbers coming down. And why are those numbers coming down? Because there's a guy in the office in White House that's getting things done. He's shaking things up. He's decided to be proactive about. He's doing what he said he was going to do. Right? People say it's not good enough, dude. Did you see what was going on between 2020, 2021 to the time he took office? You know, he ha- he has to start in a deficit. So cut him some slack. He's almost a year in, and I think he's accomplished a lot in less than a year's time. So if you're out there like, oh, Trump's not doing enough, he didn't do this, or he hasn't done this yet, or he's only released 1% of the Epstein list. Let me ask you this: who previously did any of that? Who who's your like master president that was going to take over and do a fraction of what he's gotten done? Huh? Because then you've answered your own question. You understand that no matter how hard you want to be on this president, and no matter how much you're like, oh, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done this yet, he hasn't done this, he's got 3 more years. And then whoever's after him, he can just say, okay, here's the plan. And what if he does get a third term? Not kidding. So you know, you guys, you have to. Um, oh, I must have been watching your stream earlier, AC. But yeah, you have to give the guy some grace, man. Talk about people just don't get it. They're so worked up about what he hasn't done yet, and I'm like, really? Have you seen all he has done? How, Reagan didn't work this fast. I don't think I've never seen a president in my lifetime. I'm 42, so I've seen a few presidents. Okay, and I think I didn't like his policies, but Obama worked at 1/8 the pace. And he moved fast for a president. Obama moved fast for president. I didn't like him. I didn't like his policies. There may have been like I have to say I have to give him flowers on the mental health stuff because he did work on mental health. Um, Unfortunately, people took it and went the other way with it, but he had good intentions. He started a good program, and of course, as programs go, people take advantage. But no one has ever worked this fast, not nearly as fast as Donald Trump. So the next time you question what he's doing or where he's going, and well, he's concerned about Venezuela and he's concerned about Iran. Yeah, because those countries directly affect what happens here. He's doing it for us. Oh no, he just wants the oil for us. Oh no, he just wants to do a regime change in Iran. Yeah, for us. It helps us. Wouldn't it be nice to have Iran as, I don't know, a non-Muslim ally? Just saying, man. Yeah, GT does the bells, AC. If you haven't talked with GT before, you should go check out, you guys. If you haven't, if you like bells and the bell towers and stuff, you should go check out GT's channel on YouTube. GT, if you would leave the link to your YouTube in the description, and yeah, and I think AC, I think you're a moderator on here, so if you would pin that for me when he does. But yeah, GT, if you leave your link there, if you don't show up as a moderator, AC, let me know and I'll fix it. But let's get into this second article, right? Because we're 20 minutes in. But coming from the Daily Caller, Trump freezes all immigration from Somalia amid massive fraud scandal. Just go ahead and share that with you guys as well. It's got this little weird black box that keeps showing up on that screen. Not for sure I don't know what, I think it's an ad that just like it's failing to, okay, let me fix that real quick. I don't know if I can I don't know if I can change it while I'm on with you guys. Let's see if I can go here, my dashboard. It's in here somewhere. Moderation, moderators, add. Okay, so I just need your username real quick. Oh, I accidentally pinned your. There we go. All right, AC, now you're a mod. All right. See, it was that easy. All right, so yeah, Trump freezes all immigration from Somalia amid fraud scandal. The State Department is freezing immigration from Somalia after an internal investigation found that the vast majority of Somali migrants take welfare once present in the United States. The Daily Caller has learned. The freeze is expected to remain in place while the State Department recesses immigration. Yeah, recesses immigration processing procedures. That's a mouthful. The effort is meant to prevent the entry of foreign nationals who would become a public charge on the American people. That's your tax dollars, folks. That's what it's saying. The State Department shared with the caller that the State Department will freeze immigration from approximately 75 countries, including Somalia, on January 21st. Under President Trump, We will not allow aliens to abuse America's migration immigration system and exploit the generosity of the American people. For years, foreign nationals from Somalia have entered the United States and extracted wealth from the American taxpayer, including by taking welfare at obscene rates. Deputy Principal Spokesman Tommy Pidgeot, I think is his name. Forgive me if I misspoke there. Told the caller. The Trump administration is exercising the State Department's long-standing authority to end this abuse of our immigration system. He added. The Somali community, especially in Minnesota, has been under fire following a report that accused some of stealing millions in taxpayer funds through fraud schemes. That's another mouthful. Um, and then there are about 80,000 Somalis in Minnesota alone, and and a majority are foreign-born, according to the Minnesota Compass. Overall, most of the community lives in the Minneapolis region. The Department of Homeland Security announced on Tuesday that it is ending temporary protected status for Somali nationals living in the United States. DHS has also deployed more officers to the Minneapolis region to arrest illegal aliens. Numerous child rapists, murderers, and other illegal migrant convicted criminals have been arrested by deportation officers. Temporary means temporary, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said in a public statement. Country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the law's requirements for the temporary protected status. Whew. Yeah, a lot going on there. But if you guys had seen that report, what was his name? Nick Shirley, where he, I wish I would have pulled they didn't have it. I couldn't find any articles on it like recently. I guess people are kind of done talking about it, but I don't see how they're done talking about it already. But Nick Shirley did a report there in Minnesota. It shows that just one guy going out and doing some investigative reporting can change the entire landscape of what's going on and turn the eyes of even the federal government upon fraud. Right? I mean, so he showed it. Like he went door to door to these daycares and showed that there were no kids, that they wouldn't let him sign up to bring a kid. The windows were blacked out, and then he tried to go to the healthcare facilities, which is also the same thing, healthcare, and then some other stuff. Oh, and autism centers, and all the windows were blacked out, and nobody knew how to sign him up for anything. They're like, nope, you don't do that here. No, no, no. And he says that there was like one that let him fill out a form, but then just didn't say anything else or something like that. um, but yeah, he exposed all this. Just the one guy. It's all it takes, guys. It's all it takes. Just the one guy, one gal. Whoever you are, you have the power. You have the power to go out and make a change. Look at Nick Shirley. He went out and made a change. He looked out and said, "Here's some fraud I found." And usually, you can find that stuff within a few Google searches. Honestly, you don't even have to have. I mean, I would prefer the Brave browser for most things, but a lot of times you can find when it's comes to government fraud, you can find it pretty quickly, just through just through Google searches. So trust me, I know I've done some on the ground work for some friends and stuff like that. I've done some investigative work, and Shirley, Nick Shirley, man, he changed the game, and he's showing people that just the one guy showing people that you can expose fraud and get these people out, man. What are they contributing? What are they giving to us? What good are they doing for your day, right? What 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 are they contributing to your day that's going to make it better? Are they contributing to society anyway? No, they're taking a check for daycares or autism centers or healthcare facilities that don't exist. That's your tax dollars. That's your federal tax dollars. I think it was like 9 billion or something like that. Don't quote me. I'll say this. That's why I say it's like I was pretty sure that's pretty close. Um, but yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And then wait till they get to California. I mean, there's got to be at least one brave investigative reporter out there in California. I don't know if Eddie's listening, but Eddie, get out there and find some of that, some of that fraud and start exposing it, buddy. If you can, even here in Indiana where I'm at, it's, even in the red states, I'm sure that there's plenty of fraud and waste that I can go and find. Unfortunately, I'll be away from my home state for the foreseeable future. But when I get back, I plan on doing a whole. I plan to hit the ground running. Won't just be just in the studio, just in the studio. I'll be trying to get some stuff going. Our third article of the night: Trump debuts healthcare affordability plan, urges Congress to act. He's calling it the Great Healthcare Plan. Largely includes the codification of deals that the administration reached with the pharmaceutical companies to lower prescription drug costs. What does that mean for you? Well, let's get in here. Let's get into this article. Right. This is from Just the News, and I watched Trump's live today when he was talking to the American people. So if you missed that, this article kind of cover that. President Donald Trump on Thursday unveiled a framework for lowering the cost of health care. The United States urged Congress to approve legislation codifying it. I'm calling on Congress to pass the framework into law without delay, Trump said, according to The Hill. You have to do it right now so that we can get immediate relief to the American people. And the great healthcare plan largely includes the codification of deals that the administration reached with pharmaceutical companies to lower prescription drug costs. Now, if you guys don't know what that deal was, we're actually based. We're going to get the lowest drug prices in the world. So whatever someone else is paying, they've all agreed. All these other countries have agreed. And it's our IP. Most of it's our IP to begin with, our intellectual property. Most of the drugs that go out into the world is developed here in the United States, but we're going to automatically pay the lowest price for drug costs, no matter what it is in the world. And so it is initially it takes money out of the drug companies' pockets, you'd think, but they're selling more volume, so you know it actually isn't at the end. And in all these other countries who if they don't comply, tariffs. So that's why they're like, I don't want to pay the tariffs. I'll comply. And so that's why he's got all these countries on board. Like, I'm not paying tariffs. So thank you for the love, Vine, and good to see you, Anthony. You know, I know that those are both this one and the same person, but good to see you in both both YouTube and over here on Rumble. But since taking office, Trump has convinced a number of major pharmaceutical companies to voluntarily offer most favored nation pricing. Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has stated that the voluntary commitments account for roughly 95% of the drugs sold in the U.S. Patient advocate groups reacted favorably to move with patient rights advocate, PRA, chairman and founder Cynthia Fisher, asserting it would shift the balance power away from providers and towards patients. President Trump's historic healthcare price transparency announcement is the bold leadership that America's patients deserve. Absolutely, we'll stop right there, because he's not only planning on doing that, but if they codify that, man, could you imagine? For those of you who need pain medication, for those of you who need, maybe a little brain balancing drugs, maybe you got, the sugarfoot type 2 diabetes type, whatever you got going on. Imagine being able to get your regular pharmaceuticals for much cheaper, or paying the cheapest price. I've got a friend who pays for he has to have a new EpiPen every so many months or whatever, because they expire, and because he's allergic to like everything. And each time he gets another one, it's a huge price. Somewhere between 1,500 and 3 grand is what he's paying for this EpiPen that he has to have. He has to carry it with him everywhere because he's, like I said, he's allergic to like everything, even dust. Poor guy. And he used to work in disaster relief, so that could tell you something. That might have been why he picked up so many allergies, but being exposed to God knows what. But yeah, you got Of course, there's probably stuff in the food too, but we can go down that rabbit hole another day. But this is that's just the tip of the iceberg of that. So if we get that, and then the great healthcare plan, that's going to be a stipend. So you, the patient, us, the individual, we're going to see this payout looks like around $2,000 per American uh, from from the government. That's tax dollars, I guess, but it's being spent back to us instead of being spent at the insurance companies where it's been going, where all these subsidies. That's what I was looking for. Instead, all these subsidies going to insurance company, and they're getting paid on both sides, right? They're getting paid from the government and then getting paid from you again at these high prices. They're not going to make it like that. They just it's not going to be allowed anymore, and everything's going to be transparent. So you can actually see the price of the drugs you're going to get before you purchase them. Like that it's going to be $3.25 and not $300.25. And then this $2,000 stipend could grow. It could grow up to $4,000 depending upon your home situation. Let's say you have two people, right? Two adults. It could grow depending upon the amount of people in your home. So hey, that money towards healthcare. Could you imagine being able to go into the marketplace, decide on your healthcare, and you have money to do it automatically right out of the gate? You don't have to, and you can go through a marketplace. You're not going, oh well, my work says I get to this one choice, and these three plans within this one company. That's all I've got. No, not with this. With this, I've been talking about it for years. We need a marketplace where you can go and decide on what insurance company you'd like to go with, and and make them compete for you, the patient, right? Make them compete for you. That's what happened with auto insurance. You used to not be able to, get auto insurance across state lines. They changed it, and guess what happened? The auto insurance companies, they're still pretty expensive, let's be honest, but they're a whole lot cheaper than they used to be because you used to not be able to get auto insurance across state lines. That's why you can get those companies that can do like run these what do they call them, agencies that can run like seven different companies all in one agency and say, okay, we got accreditations from all these, but you pay us this price. So that's going to make them compete, and that works out for us, the people. So I don't want to hear any crying or complaining about what Trump is or isn't doing, because I think he's doing fantastic. I think he's doing fantastic. A plus. No one's done as much as he's done in the little amount of times he's done it, and I can't expect much more out of the guy. And he runs on like 3 hours of sleep, dude. I took 2 days where I was just completely down. I got out of bed long enough to eat and go to the bathroom because I was just down. But not the president, man. He's out there doing stuff. What's the next article of the night? Well, it comes from LiveZet. LiveZet has got our next article of the night. And the base Democrat we didn't know we needed. Fetterman tells ICE to clean house. Now, we'll just kind of read this first. Yeah. But yeah, and then we'll watch a couple videos here. So Senator John Fetterman said that the current situation at the southern border is unsustainable, and argued that Democrats should not shy away from supporting border security and the deportation of criminals. Remarks that placed him at odds with many in his own party, of course, because they're the party of migration, right? So let me see if I can get this video to play, because it already played once through. So I was trying to avoid commercials. I don't know that it'll let me play it on full screen or not.
Here, when they hear the mayor of their city,
can you pull behind them? It's ICE. They're trying to kidnap people. Please pull behind them.
The president stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers.
No, GT. Unfortunately, this is not that show, brother. But maybe if I do some premium in the future, maybe we'll do that. But okay, where to go? Trying to find this video of Fetterman. So he's on talking here for about a minute and a half on Fox News.
Border, and it was skyrocketing, and it's like, that's unsustainable. When you reach almost 300,000 people, that's unsustainable, and we need to, as a Democrat, right, it shouldn't be unreasonable to want to secure our border and do it in that way. And now let's also talk about ICE. Now, absolutely, again, what happened in Minneapolis was absolutely tragic. And then now, if you think, now, this is from the Washington Post. This is the latest statistics. These are people that ICE now are, it's like now 67% have criminal charges, pending ones, or that. So that's more than right, 2/3, the people. Now there are some people that aren't involved in any kinds of illegal things, but so me, I think two things can be true. Round up all the criminals, deport them. They shouldn't have ever been here, and they definitely have to go. And now right, I don't want to see more and more things happening in Minneapolis now too. So two things must be true. And I strongly reject the extreme on either side, about this now. So we must be true. And, I watched you earlier in your show. You just pointed out President Obama deported, millions of people, and there wasn't having the same kind of outrage here, here is from Democrats.
Sorry about that. Tried to stop it before it continued. But anyhow, I was caught up in what he was saying. But, because you have to give another thing, you have to give him some grace, because he is operating on, he did have I think it was 2 strokes at this point, so give him some grace there. But the point being, he's he's definitely landing in the middle, and even the middle, I'm waiting for AOC to try to oust him. They're gonna disown him at some point. At some point, Fetterman's gonna get ousted, and I don't want him to put an R next to his name, because the jokes write themselves, folks. The jokes write themselves. So I don't want that to happen, but what I'd like to see happen is that more common sense comes out of the left when they can see as clearly as their stroke victim colleague that can see it very clearly. Hey, we should get the criminals out. Why is that not compute? Why should we protect the criminals? What are we doing here? Why are we cowtailing and trying to get in front of these ICE agents that are doing their job? They're trying to get out there and get the murderers and the rapists. That's what these targeted missions are. If they happen to find other illegal people there, they have to still do their job. It's part of the job, man. It's part of the job. If you happen to be there, that's on you. If you're an illegal and you're hanging out with somebody who's a criminal, and they're a criminal, there's possibility, there's even a remote possibility that they might be gone after by ICE. Maybe you should get on scooting. Or you can go self-deport, get yourself $1,000, go home for a little while, and then I can't remember what the wait time is. I think it's 18 months. Don't quote me. But then you get to come back the right way. Wouldn't that be better? And it was really great there. If you'd done it at Christmas time, you could have got $3,000. I could use $3,000 if I could have somehow convinced them that I was originally from Ireland. I would have gone and got my $3,000, because I could have afforded the trip there and the trip home, and then be like, oh, look, I found my ID. I'm a U.S. citizen. Look at that. I'll waltz right back in. No, that would have been fraud for sure. But it would have been funny. So AC says Democrats played themselves because they thought that Trump was going to stop with ICE raids if they got violent and kept they keep the people here forever. Yeah, you know, if they got violent and they keep people here forever. Yeah, so they just can't stay, right? These people cannot stay. They broke the law regardless. They broke the law whether they actually are, committed other crimes about outside of coming here illegally. They broke the law. The law is the law. I mean, I was told that when I got speeding tickets when I was younger. Hey, you sped, I caught you. The law is the law. Here's a ticket. It made sense to me. It sucked. I was upset about it, but but I knew that I had to comply because what's the alternative? Go to jail? They're like, oh no, don't take me out. You just have to don't go at the ICE officers. The thing that happened with this Renee Good, I'm not because I see so many people reveling in her death, and I don't like that personally. I think what she did was wrong, and I think that she, she unfortunately made the wrong decision to try to. Because she thought she was going to be tough and run the officer over, or she thought that she was maybe she legitimately thought that she was going to get away, that she was just going to skirt off. She's watched one too many movies. It doesn't work like that in reality. When you put the pedal to the metal, going towards or even near someone with a gun, you are likely to lose your life, if not get very badly wounded. And so, yeah, it's that's a tough situation there with Renee Good lady, but that officer did what he had to do. I thought they didn't have real bullets in those guns as well, but the reason that they had live rounds is because of who they were there for. They weren't. So that's the problem. That was another problem, is because they have live rounds because they're there for actual criminals, for people that was really truly breaking the law multiple times. That was I think it was Guatemalan migrant, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there. I can't remember what the guy's name was. So don't. Those are. I think I'm getting those details wrong. So I apologize for that. So I don't want to give you misinformation. So I just want to tell you, yeah. So that I know that they was there for someone who was not only illegal but had committed multiple crimes, and pretty sure he was someone who stabbed somebody too. So they were there for that guy. So that you need, when you're dealing with a dangerous person, you have to have live rounds. You can't just have rubber bullets. And she picked the wrong day, and you can't exactly just change your mag out when you got to switch from, because you're not intending on doing anything but what you're there to do, right? To go get the bad guy. So, how quickly would you have to think to switch your mag out to rubber bullets? Make sure your chamber's empty. Like, that's asking a lot of these agents. Because what if the bad guy comes out and he starts spraying everybody? Well, now you got to change your rounds back out. Go back to live rounds. It's not going to happen fast enough. You're going to lose your life. So I want to discourage, as I'm supposed to say, I want to discourage people from reveling in her death. I've seen some of the memes and stuff, and some of them, fair enough. They gave me a little chuckle, I don't like reveling in somebody's death. Even if they were on the wrong side of it, I still don't. I still don't agree with it. I didn't agree with what she had to say. I didn't agree with what she was doing. I didn't agree with how she handled the entire situation. The best way to have handled that situation was just to comply. And she would have been out of there in no time. They wouldn't have arrested her. They would have detained her. They would have moved the vehicle and waited till they got their mission done. And then they would have put her back in her vehicle and said, go home. That's what would have happened. So just please be careful. If you're going to go out and protest, which I fully encourage someone protesting, if you believe in something, even if I disagree with it, go out and peacefully protest. Stand on the sidewalk, sing your songs, hold your signs, scream from a distance. Don't get up in the officers' faces. Don't get up in anybody's face for that matter. Just keep your distance. Keep a safe distance, actually. Scream, yell, blow your whistles, use your bullhorns. All that. You can do all that peacefully. But when you block traffic and you impede a mission, you're the problem. That's all I can say about that, honestly. I wish that she hadn't lost her life, but I'm glad that the officer didn't lose his life because here's the thing. Before I move into this next article, because the last article is an uplifter, so I'll just try to get this bummer out of the way. Here's what would have happened if she had been successful at trying to get out of the way, but then ran over the officer in the process and got away. She would have been a lefty folk hero. Do you think charges would have come against her? Not a one. Is that, you know what they'd say? See, you see this right here? This is going to keep happening, ICE. This is what's going to keep happening. We're going to run you over with our cars. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it until you stop taking illegal immigrants who have committed multiple crimes out of our country. We don't want you arresting these pedophiles. We don't want you arresting these rapists. We don't want you arresting these murderers. No. We need to keep them in our neighborhood. Lowest crime rate, by the way. Lowest crime rate reported in I don't know how long. I don't have an article for it, but maybe tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to squeeze in another show tomorrow for freedom. So maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Oh, we got two more articles. We got two more. Okay, so this one's not as there's one more that's not. It's not quite a bummer, but we'll kind of piecemeal it, and then we'll get it, and then we'll get into the last one after it. So we have another one coming from Just the News. Trump says Zelensky is holding up Russia-Ukraine peace deal. So let's get into that article a little bit together, huh? Share. Yep, certainly. Okay, so President Trump said Wednesday rather, the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Where's that bummer one? Oh no, I can't find it. Yeah, that's pretty close. Let's see here. I had a. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's not what I was looking for. Oh, here it is. Vladimir Zelensky. Yeah, there we go. That's the sound that for Vladimir Zelensky. Beyond Formal, what's up, buddy? Hey, Brandon. Vladimir Zelensky is holding up a Russia-Ukraine peace deal, not Russian President Vladimir Putin. So I think he's ready to make a deal, Trump told writers regarding Putin. I think Ukraine is less ready to make a deal. When asked why negotiations led by the U.S. have not resolved the Russia-Ukraine war, Trump simply said, Zelensky, that rat. No, he is a rat, though. But in recent weeks, negotiations have focused on security guarantees for post-war Ukraine to ensure that Russia does not invade it again after a peace deal, U.S. negotiations have also pushed Ukraine to abandon its eastern Donbas region as part of a peace deal. When Trump was asked if he would meet Zelensky at the World Economic Forum, Davos, Switzerland, next week, he said, so when Trump was asked if he would meet Zelensky at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, next week, he said, I would if he's there. I'm going to be there. Regarding why Zelensky was holding up negotiations, Trump said, I just think he's, having a hard time getting there. Sounds like he's talking about something else. Zelensky has publicly said that Ukraine won't make any territorial concessions to Russia, explaining that there is no right under his country's constitution to give up any land. You have to come up with a diplomatic solution at this point. You have to. Lives are being lost. The pride, I get it. You have country pride. You have pride in your country. But your people are dying and they don't want to go to war for you. Even if you're playing the game of Risk, let's say you're playing the game of Risk, you found out that all your little characters in the game of Risk did not want to go to war for you. They hate your guts, but you're too prideful and you want to just keep sending them to war so you can keep defending the borders that you think you are owed. You're not the U.S., pal, and we're not gonna continue to back this death squabble between you two. We're not gonna back Russia, and we're not gonna back Ukraine. Y'all need to figure this out. Be big boys. And it sounds like Zelensky is just too proud. No. Now it's my opinion. It's my opinion that Zelensky is an actor. He was handpicked. That's why he's not going to show up at Davos. I could almost guarantee it. I don't know if there's a money line on whether he's going to show up at Davos on what's that betting app? Polymarket. I can maybe if we talk Polymarket into says is he going to show up? But if he doesn't show up, man, I would be such a big winner. But he's just too proud. He's just too proud, and I think he's an actor. I think he was handpicked by, they. You know who they is if you know, and if you don't, I'd say don't worry about it because it's too much to explain to you in the next 15 minutes or so. So just know that this war should end, and it only is being held up because Zelensky is too proud, and he wants to keep trying to, suck all he can from all these countries' money, so that he can keep buying all this private jets and mansions, and he's spending that money. He's not giving it to the people. Aren't getting any of that money. His military's not getting any of that money. You think that those guys are getting it? There wouldn't be nearly as many Ukrainians dying if the military was getting that money. They'd sign up tomorrow if the military was actually getting money. They'd be like, yeah, I want to defend my country. But even then, a lot of them just want to be Russian because they were Russian before. It's like a big majority, actually. I'm not saying that they should become the USSR again. I'm not saying that. Not let them expand on. No, don't let them expand like that. Don't let them have the ports. But piecemeal out something and just call it done. Just say, hey, here's a concession. We don't want people dying. Don't keep the lines where they were. And Russia has to give up something too. Say, hey, we're giving up this. Russia gives up this. Can we call it a deal? Handshake, done. People stop dying. Wouldn't that be great? Anyhow, let's get into our last article of the night, right? Let's get into our last article of the night. This one's fun. It's kind of upsetting a little bit, but it's a little too much fun to be upsetting because I've been to like the young people basketball games and the young people football games, and the parents can get pretty heated a lot of these games here in Indiana for sure. Basketball is like everything in Indiana, right? So Coming from Breitbart, our last article of the night, we have an investigation launched after youth hockey teams brawl in Pennsylvania. It would be Pennsylvania, right? Yeah. So we won't necessarily even. Oh, let's see. Yeah, there's just the one prompt here before we watch this video. But he says that when fans came out to watch Hershey Bears at the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania, they got a spectacle they were not prepared for during the intermission. Fans were told they were going to watch some cute 8-year-olds play a little exhibition game. Instead, fans got an all-out kiddie brawl on ice. These boys have been watching Mighty Ducks. Quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth. Full on, just bam. Woo. So there's that. Anarchy, man. Anarchy on the ice in Pennsylvania. Hershey, Pennsylvania, of all places. But it says here that USA Hockey official Dave Fisher notes the fighting is not allowed. Fighting is not allowed in youth leagues. Well, they got away with it that night, didn't they? So we condone it in any way, shape, or form. What happened? Fisher said, "This is not how young athletes are supposed to experience the game." He said, "Oh, yes, it is, dude. I played youth football. We hit people when it wasn't time at all. We did it all the time." Except for the quarterback, he's soft. Quarterback, you can't let him take hits. But I was a lineman, so we all just hit each other, as many times as possible. Maybe that explains a few things. But it says that the January 10th event apparently wasn't the first time this youth league had ended up in on-ice fights, according to the Independent Journal Review. And the news outlet says that an investigation into the Kiddie Hockey League is now underway. The outlet says that the Atlantic Amateur Hockey Association, AAHA, is now reviewing just what is going on with the youth organization. In addition to the Central Penn Panthers Club is also investigating practices and past events to see just what these tykes are being taught. They probably watched a few, Mighty Ducks movies, because they said he told him, I think it was Mighty Ducks 2, where he told him, pull the jersey over the head and hit him, right? Or maybe they watched Happy Gilmore. He did this, hey, Jacob Castro, what's up, buddy? And so yeah, this I thought that was a great article to end on, man. Like, just get into that article. Those kids, I want to watch it again. Would you guys want to watch it again? I kind of want to watch it again. I want to watch that video again. These kids get it, man. Yeah, let me turn the volume down just a little bit so we can commentate a little more. But yeah, let me get it pulled up here for you guys. This is great, man. This is boys will be boys, right? Boys will be boys. That's boys being boys, man. You can't stop that. Testosterone is back. That's what's happening, man. Well, there's nothing wrong with these kids doing this. As long as they're not taking their ice skates off, trying to cut each other, go for it, man. I think this is great. This is boys being boys. That's right. Yeah, they'll be best friends for decades. That's right. These guys they're gonna go to school together. They're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, remember that time you hit me after three? Got me flat on my rear in the stadium." That goalie, man, he went for it all the way from the other end. So I think it's fantastic. The boys will be boys. That's what I say. And people got to stop coddling young men. Let them be. Their pent up frustration from being stuck in a classroom all week long, having to stare at a teacher telling them to sit still. What do you think's going to happen? And Mischief says, unlike regular hockey, they don't stop until stop it at the ice. Yeah. Regular hockey, man. They keep going. There's professional hockey is kind of fizzled out on some of the fighting, but you get that the middle league hockey, that the AAA. Like we have a team here that's the Blackhawk farm team. What is our team called? Oh, the Fuel, Indy Fuel, and the Indy Fuel, man. They get some fights there, and guys lose teeth. Yeah, they get into some fights there, man. They don't let go until somebody's got a black eye or some kind of blood or something. And so a GT, unfortunately, I'm all out of. I see that you're wanting a subscription for the month, but I'm unfortunately all out of subscriptions I can hand out for the month. But maybe next month I can do it for sure. But yeah, not to the beginning of the month because the end of the month is kind of when the payroll comes through, and yeah. I can only do so many in a month, but it's been fantastic to spend this time with you guys. I've missed so many of you. Welcome to some of you that I've only got to talk to via chat sometimes or seen here and there. So, you almost fainted, GT. What happened? You almost fainted. Oh, that's not good. But these little kids, man, it's boys being boys. That's what that is. It's boys being boys, and you should chalk it up to that. These investigations what they're gonna find is that these boys probably watched a movie. It probably wasn't anything the coaches said. They saw. They're like, oh no, we saw Mighty Ducks 2, and the kids did it on there. And knuckle puck time and all that stuff. And any kid who's been, because I don't play hockey, but I've come to understand enough about hockey. I can barely ice skate, but I've come to understand that, any kid who's ever played hockey knows that the knuckle puck is not a thing. It doesn't, and the triple deke is just simple hockey moves. It's what you do with the puck. It's not dribble. But you move puck around. It's the dribble of hockey, whatever that term is. But it shows you how level I know about hockey, but I do know that much. But yeah, boys, Mischief, I agree. Boys need to learn how to learn controlled dangerousness. It's good for them. Yeah, it really is good for young men and boys to learn how to defend themselves. One, to just let out the aggression, especially if you got pads on, man. There's no better time to let out the aggression when there's helmets and pads on all over your body. We used to hit, like I said, not helmet to helmet, but when I was playing Pee Wee football, man, we hit each other hard, and we were kids, and we just run at each other as fast as we could, and see who can tip the other one over. And a lot of times we hit, chest plate to helmet or chest plate to chest plate, or it just depends on how soon somebody came up, but we'd make sure there's a good distance between us so it could look like a pair of cymbals hitting each other. And, it'd be like, and then somebody's going down, and the other person, Mischief says they did tackle football, pickup and no pads. Yeah, we did that. We did a lot of that too. We did a lot of that too. We played a game that, since there's still YouTube streaming here, I cannot say, but it was smear and you know what the finishing of that sentence is, but that's what we played when we were kids. It was, you throw the football up in the air, and whoever caught it, they were it, and then they had to try to get down to the touchdowns, and the more times you got to the end zones it was a single point that you got. And then if you got hit before then, you either, if you either gave up the ball or you went down, and then it'd be somebody else's turn. And we'd have to throw the ball up again. And hopefully, and yet whatever the furthest one away, whatever was determined the furthest away before you threw the ball in the air, that's the end zone that you had to get to first to get your first point. GT says he had a flashback that triggered a fainting sensation. Woo. I saw a video of someone, he said he just saw a video of going under someone going under anesthesia, and he got a flashback. Woo. It popped up in his feed. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I'm sorry that you had to experience that. I've nearly fainted a few times myself, and I wouldn't want to go through it. So sorry that you had to go through that. But yeah, this is just boys being boys, and I think you should chalk it up to that, man. They're in Pennsylvania. These kids, like I said, they probably just watched a movie, harmless fun. Someone will come home with black eye or bloody something. But that's how you make friends, man. That's what guys do. I know I've talked about this for a little bit, but I can remember there's a place I used to work, and I will not say the name of the place, but it was blue collar work. And the way because it was a small warehouse, and so there was only about 22 employees total, somewhere in there. And if somebody was upset with somebody, they went outside and they settled it. That's how it worked. Is that legally how it should have worked? No, but that's how it worked. That's how it was. That's how things played out. And guess what? Somebody won, somebody lost, and we all came back to work, and the day went about. Because that's just how you just settle it and get it, squash it like a bug, call it done. Maybe you can settle it with your words, and that'd be fantastic. But sometimes words just don't get there. And guys, well, we get to a certain point, words just don't work anymore. And you gotta, fix it. And I'm not saying that that's a fix all for everybody. Like I said, try to use your words first if you can, but you learn if you learn and grow up with getting to be an actual boy and not being told that you might be a girl or not being told that you might be gay or anything like that when you're 7 and 8 years old, you might swing a few punches and learn something. I know I did. I got the crap beat out of me for years before I learned how to fight. But, one thing failure teaches you is how to do it and do it better. Because then you can learn something I learned from getting the crap beat out of me a lot as a young kid was, I learned how people's feet moved. I learned how people's bodies moved. So when they were about to swing a fist or kick their foot, or I learned how to watch. And so, if I'm talking crap, you got nothing to worry about, but, if I get quiet, you might just back off whatever you're doing. Cause now I'm watching you. I'm assessing your situation and see if I can, and I don't want it to ever come to that. I'd prefer it never come to that, but if I have to, I'll do what I have to do. And I think that's the way it should be. Prefer it not to come to that. I would much prefer not to have to put my fists up, but I learned, like I said, from a young age, getting all the little squabbles and stuff that kids just don't get into anymore. They just don't know how to fight anymore. They're playing their video games all the time. They're, whatever, the indoors doing nothing, and they don't know how to defend themselves. They don't, I wish more kids went to learn how to box and to wrestle and to, maybe do some judo and jujitsu and stuff like that. Specifically jujitsu. That'd be a big one. Jujitsu and boxing. Jiu-jitsu, boxing, and wrestling. If you can get jiu-jitsu, boxing, and wrestling under your belt, And I'm not saying yellow, orange, black, or whatever. If you can get jujitsu and boxing under your belt, you're pretty lethal. You can say, okay, I don't want to go. Um, I don't want to go to. Oh, and it just threw my brain off there. Brandon, he said off topic. Insurrection Act by 12-1 tomorrow. Let's look that up, man. It happens, your brain gets thrown off. So there's no set time right now that I can see. It says he's looking to invoke it. See, the most recent article that's showing up, of course, they're going to have the left-leaning sources come up first, but let's see if they've got a timestamp on here. I'm looking at the BBC's article on it right now. It just dropped 3 hours ago. Doesn't look like they have a timestamp, but you're predicting? Yeah, probably a pretty fair prediction because Trump tends to drop stuff right in the middle of the day when people are, when the rest of us are, when most people are working and stuff. So you have to kind of like catch it. I've been down, because I've been not well, so I have nothing but time on my hands to sit here and watch news stuff and pick up what's going on. But yeah, like today when he dropped the not the drug prices stuff, but the great healthcare. Let's see here. Yeah, nobody's giving a timestamp, but that's probably a pretty fair assumption. Somewhere between. I'll stretch it just a little further, maybe between noon and 2. But probably get announced. Probably around that time though, for sure. I think you've got it for sure. And that's a long message there. I'm pretty sure that that's a bot. So I don't know if you guys have seen this person before. I've never seen that person before. Spotify. Macis. I don't know that person. But it's good to have each and every one of you, and thank you for joining me here for Freedom. And it's been a blast tonight, man. It's so good to see so many of you, man. I'm gonna try to be on in the morning with Sterling around 9 a.m. Eastern. I'm gonna give it the old college. I've been like I said, I've been down. Had a irritable bowel attack the first couple days this week. Where I was just I couldn't move, and anywhere but the bathroom or eating in the bed, man. That's all I could do, and so I was there, and then when I woke up yesterday, I had this pain in my wing muscle where it's pulled or something, and it was completely unbearable yesterday. It's quite unbearable today, but not unbearable enough that I couldn't. I was just too antsy. I couldn't. I was just too antsy to get back on air and see some of you guys and talk with some of you guys. And, you guys mean a lot to me. So, I'll try to close this. I'll try to get this to a close, before I get like into my feels and stuff. Cause this is not the show for that. We can do that on Morning Word a little bit, but yeah. But yeah, you guys mean a lot to me, and my heart does go out to you, and I'm going to do it in just that way. I'm not going to do it like the Elon Musk, because I don't want somebody clipping it. But my heart does go out to you guys, and I really do love each and every one of you. And as Brandon knows, I'm a hugger. Beyond formal, he'll tell you. First time we met, I gave him a hug. It's just what I do. You can't help it once you're in my orbit, because I'm a big guy. There's a pull, and you're gonna get a hug, whether you want one or not. You can resist and be one of those Democrats or something, but you're gonna get a hug. Anyhow, Yeah, embrace the embrace. That's right, Brandon. But I normally close the freedom out with the same thing that I say at the end of every episode of morning word. It's to stay in trouble. But before I do, and it's been requested, that we say a quick prayer for GT. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to squeeze that in real quick. So we'll just do this real quick. Father God, thank you so much for this chance to be able to get back here and do another episode of Freedom. Be with me in the morning so that I can. It's not only me but Sterling as well in the morning, so we can do this funny Friday with these guys and whoever can join, and make sure that we're able to engage in not only your word, Lord, but we're also able to share some funnies in the premium and be with GT Bach. It's David. Be with him. He's got a few things going on, trying to get some concerts going. So we'd ask that you bless him, Lord, in those potential concerts. And I want to say a prayer for each and everybody that's here in the live chat right now, and the people who are going to watch later on. I'll say a prayer for them as well. Bless their lives, Lord, and beyond their understanding. Give wonderful things. And I'm not doing that for prosperity gospel. I'm saying I just want you to bless their lives in such wonderful ways that they can't understand why they're getting so many blessings. And I just turn to you and say, thank you, Lord. I pray for all those things in Jesus' name. Amen. Let me just take a look real quick, because I want to see who I can potentially raid out to. So let's see here. We got Tron Anon is currently streaming, so we'll get ready to raid you guys out over there. So as I do that, what I'm going to tell you guys is what I always in my shows with. I always tell you to stay in trouble. Why do I tell you to stay in trouble? Because if you have Christ in your hearts, you will in fact be in trouble with the world. The world doesn't want you living under his grace. It's your salvation first and foremost. And I pray that each and every one of you has that. The world doesn't want you reading his word, praying to him, having a relationship with him. And it definitely doesn't want you going out and doing something so dangerous as getting out and telling others about him. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to do all that anyway. Stay in trouble. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.